just overlook me. Yeah, if things don't pan out, keep it cooking. You're not a fan, but you keep on looking. Look, don't be concerned with what people saying. Be concerned when they don't care to say it. Funny how people will act like they know you, but they don't even got a clue what they're saying.
Yeehaw, soldiers, it's your boy the Anime Sage, coming at you with another video, and this is what if Deku had Ichigo's powers, part 1. Well, you guys did vote for the series, so here you guys go. Now, for me to continue the series, because I don't know how well the series will do, hit 1k views in 3 days, and the series will continue. If not, I'll consider this a dead experiment, and you guys, it's dead, essentially. No more parts. Okay, you got that? Good. I know you guys also want what if Deku had a fusion quirk, which will come when I figure some stuff out. Anyways, what is coming up this week, you ask? Well, tomorrow should be half Uchiha, half Senju Naruto. While Friday is what if Hashirama kept all the Biju/Tail Beasts. I don't know what to tell it yet. So this should be a good week. Anyways, watch my community tab like a hawk. I'll post vid updates, polls, and other fun stuff in between. So watch my community tab like a hawk. Alright, time for quick social media plugs. Twitter is at MSH4. Twitter is a great place for you guys to interact with me, as I do post pretty frequently on there, and excellent way for you guys to get notified by my videos. We're also very close to 200 followers, so please follow me on Twitter. Next, Instagram is anime_sage4. Instagram is a great place for you guys to interact with me, as I do post pretty frequently on there as well. So follow me on Instagram. Finally, join my Discord server. If you join, you get access to sneak peeks of supplementary content, notifications when I live stream ahead of time, and of course, you get to suggest to me ideas directly. It's also a great way for you guys to interact with me, so join my Discord server. The link to it will be in the description. Since this is a new series, no usual checklist. So with all the way, let's get right into the story. Alright, so before I dive deep into the story, I'm going to need to put a bit of background into the story, because this is more than what would happen if Deku got Ichigo's powers and put him in the whole MHA universe and see how that goes. No, if you're familiar with the Mjolnir Deku series, you know I have bigger plans than that. This is essentially a Bleach and MHA crossover. So if you catch my drift, there will be elements of the MHA verse and the Bleach verse combined to the story, which means that there will be characters from both series into the story. That means Rukia, the other Soul Reapers, the Captains, Aizen, the Espada, etc. could / potentially be in the story. This also means we'll be seeing Hollows, the Soul Society, and other fun stuff in between. This does make sense, as the realm of MHA can work for Bleach crossover potential, especially when consider that Ichigo was a high school student when he got his powers. I will also be changing the concept of the standard Gigai a bit here. You see, in the earlier parts of Bleach's story, Gigais would essentially be able to blend in the human world, not necessarily anything out of the ordinary, kind of pretty well in the human world, unless, you know, the Soul Reaper uses some of their smaller abilities, because they're kind of drained. I'm looking at you, Rukia, and you weren't necessarily seeing like 8% of the world's population use different powers / quirks like it's nothing. However, in order to properly blend in, there will be Giga that will have quirks attached to them. Not necessarily OP quirks, but quirks that can get the job done and blend in. This at least gives them the opportunity to defend themselves in the human world, and helps them blend in a bit better, and saves them from being laughed at, because they are aware of how people who don't have quirks are treated in Hero Society, so this helps them out a bit. You can also guess that Ichigo won't exist in this universe. That's pretty obvious. So that's all the background information. Let's get into the story. In this world, there are people who have quirks and those who don't have them. Around 8% of the world has a quirk, compared to the 20% population that doesn't have it at all. In this society, if you don't have a quirk, you may as well kiss your hopes and dreams of becoming a hero goodbye. There has never been a pro hero who doesn't have a quirk, and that is not changing anytime soon. There are levels to these heroes, however, the top heroes are usually distinguished by trust and popularity amongst its citizens. Essentially, who the public thinks is a great hero, they get voted in as the top hero, you know? The one who stands at the top of it all is a hero named All Might. He has transcended many of these heroes and has become the heart and soul of Hero Society. He is known as a symbol of peace. If he were to fall, Hero Society could fall apart with him. Crime would increase. Society would be in chaos. And everything that All Might had achieved could be in jeopardy. But there couldn't be anything wrong with the symbol of peace, right? Surely nothing would force him to the point where he can't do hero work like he used to. Like, he can only do hero work a couple hours a day, right? Anyways, on the other side, outside of the Hero Society, outside of even the land of the living, there's a society of warriors known as the Soul Reapers. These Reapers deal with hollows on the outside world, so they can't hurt humans or any of the people in the land of the living. Even with humans having quirks, they can't necessarily deal with hollows, as they have to deal with the fact that they can't see them, and hollows are a bit too powerful. There are levels to these Soul Reapers, there are teams, captains, and many other layers to the Soul Society. These Reapers also even have prominent clans, and they go to class. Essentially, it seems like a regular oldish society. However, there are some darker layers to the Soul Society, particularly with one or two captains, but we'll deal with them a little later. Now, our story begins with a young boy who will go on an amazing journey. There will be loss, pain, joy, friendship, heartbreak, and everything in between. Our story begins with a boy named Izuku Midoriya. Izuku is a young boy who has had dreams of wanting to become a hero. He has looked up to the symbol of peace, and there are heroes in between, to the point he has collected a journal of them, which has given him quite a knowledge of the daily lives and abilities of heroes. Izuku Midoriya, however, has one problem with him. He is quirkless. He was diagnosed with it as a young 4-year-old boy, though he doesn't seem to think he is quirkless at all. He has been able to see spirits for a very long time. This has allowed him to have a respect for the dead and protect those spirits that have been disrespected. Deku has often been bullied by his peers due to either him being quirkless or his lack of, strong quirk. At the forefront is a guy named Bakugo, who for years has bullied Deku over his diagnosed quirklessness. Deku will tell Bakugo he does have a quirk, but that won't stop Bakugo from bullying him because even if he has a quirk, it's not really the best, and he doesn't really believe he can see spirits, and at times Bakugo's bullying does get to Deku. However, the person who keeps him going is his mom, Inko Midoriya. She has had to carry the Midoriya household for quite a bit of time, ever since her husband died in a tragic accident that left Deku scarred, as he to this day blames himself for his father's death. However, Inko has kept Deku's spirits up, and has told him that he will one day become a hero, and that will always keep him going. Nothing will stop him from achieving his goals. Not the bullies, not Bakugo, not even his siblings in Karin and Yuzu. Yes, I put them in this universe because why not? One day, on the last day of middle school, Deku is dealing with Bakugo all over again. He has at times been able to stand up for himself, and he will raise his hand that he will go to UA, which will cause some of the classmates to laugh. Deku won't let it bother him though. While Bakugo isn't necessarily a fan of Deku, because he is, either quirkless or he has a really, really bad quirk, he at least has to give the boy some respect because he has convictions that he can succeed. Later on, Deku is taking a shortcut home, then there will soon be the 10-month preparation gap for training, and that should be fun. Then he encounters something he can't necessarily defend himself against, and that is a sludge monster. It grabs a hold of him, it wants his body, and will probably suffocate him. However, just when Deku is about to pass out, a hero emerges, and that is All Might. He takes care of the sludge villain and signs Deku's notebook. Deku then decides to see if his favorite hero actually believes in him as well, so he holds on to his leg, which accidentally causes the sludge villain to escape. All Might and Deku will then talk on the roof, and Deku will ask, "Do you believe I can become a hero even if I don't have the most useful quirk?" But before All Might can answer that question, he changes. He is now a skinny, scrawny armed man. Deku is shocked and wonders what happened, as there is no way this person is All Might. All Might then reveals that 5 years ago, he had an accident that has caused him to essentially be limited in hero work. He then answers Deku's question as no, he can't become a hero without a proper quirk, as even though that his so-called spirit-seeing ability is interesting, though he finds it very hard to believe, he says he might have to consider a job in the police force. This, however, will not deter Deku, as he believes more than anything that he will become a hero, even if he doesn't have a conventional quirk. All Might definitely likes the kid's energy, however, there is chaos downtown, and it is the sludge villain going downtown causing chaos. When Deku reaches the scene, he sees Bakugo was caught in sludge villain and could die. He knows Bakugo needs help, and feeling guilty, he wants to rush in, but also knows after the last experience with the sludge villain, he probably should be careful touching it. He goes up, and is able to give Bakugo time to breathe by throwing a book at the sludge villain's eye. He then tries to get Bakugo out of there and says Bakugo he looked like he was asking for help, which by the way was said in the sub. Which one do you prefer, the dub phrase or the sub? Anyways, All Might then powers up and takes care of the sludge villain, saving the day. Bakugo knows he should thank Deku, but decides to go about his own way by just giving him a handshake with his signature scowl. Deku is later pushed by All Might on his way home, and he is offered the opportunity to train with All Might and receive a quirk called One for All. Deku will accept this and will start the 10 months of training. 2 months later, Deku is on one of his off days, and he sees the spirit of a young girl. He then sees something he has never really seen before a little bit later, which is some type of monster. Not like the sludge monster at all, but nobody can really see it. Deku will protect the girl from harm and tries to help it get away from whatever that thing is. Then, a mysterious girl, probably looking around his age, comes in and destroys the hollow. Deku calls out to the girl, but she then just goes away. Later on, Deku is in his bed, and then the mysterious girl is in his room. She is looking for something and seems to be ignoring him. Deku then decides to tap her on the shoulder, and the girl is shocked that he can see her. Deku then wonders what is going on, and then the girl will tell her her story. Her name is Rukia Kuchiki, and she is a Soul Reaper, and she essentially goes after hollows. She explains these with poorly drawn drawings, and when Deku points out they aren't necessarily the best, he gets smacked on the head. Then, all of a sudden, a sound comes from downstairs, and Deku wants to investigate it as he hears the sound of his sisters in trouble, but is put in a Bakuro by Rukia. Deku, however, is not one to be deterred and goes downstairs. He then is able to break out the Bakuro as his sisters are in trouble from the hollows. This will shock Rukia, as no normal human should be able to do that. The hollow will try to strike Deku, but Rukia will protect Deku, however she is badly damaged. Deku wonders why she protected him, and Rukia reveals he has a lot of spirit energy, more than any other human, and that the hollows were attracted to him. This makes Deku feel bad, as everything that has happened to his sisters is all his fault. Then, Rukia offers that Deku takes her Zanpakuto, and Deku does this. In a flash of light, Deku takes nearly all of Rukia's power, and transforms into a Soul Reaper, with a giant Zanpakuto. Rukia is amazed, as he was only meant to take half of it. Who is this kid? Deku then goes up to the hollow, charges at it, and destroys it, with one slash from his Zanpakuto. Rukia just looks at him with awe. Deku has just gotten Soul Reaper powers, or essentially how Ichigo got his start into being a Soul Reaper, or a substitute Soul Reaper to be more exact. However, Deku will have to potentially live 2 lives. One as a hero, and one as a Soul Reaper. Will Deku live up to the challenge, or will he falter to what is going to be thrown at him? Find out as the series potentially goes on. Thank you all for watching part 1 of What If Deku Had Ichigo's Powers. I poured a lot of time and effort into the series, and I hope you guys reciprocate that by supporting the series. 1,000 views in 3 days, you hit that, I'll continue the series and not consider it a dead experiment. No 1,000 views in 3 days, gone. Get ready for the stuff coming this week, such as Half Senju, Half Uchiha Naruto on Wednesday, and of course, What If Hashirama Kept the Tail Beast or the Biju, I don't know what to tell it yet. It's going to be really good. Watch my community tab like a hawk, that is pretty important. And finally, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and join my Discord server. And let's get to 6K subs. We are getting really close. We're at, like, last I checked, 5.87K. That's going to be really good if we can hit 6K in a couple days from now. So, that's all I have to say. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and of course, share the video. This has been your boy, the Anime Sage, signing out. Peace. YEEHAW. Bye-bye. Peace. Oh yeah, one more thing before I end this video off. So, I know there are a couple of girls that I see people shipping Deku with all the time, but for the sake of this universe, who do you think I should ship him with? I'm thinking very, very carefully on like a Deku Rukia shipping here, as I think it actually could be fun here, but you know, it's whatever. Yeah, I guess you guys will figure out what to choose, but with how much the universe is literally just like flipped on up at the side of its head, I'm going to be very interested on how you guys respond. So, I guess let me know on what you think of like some of the shippings and pairings and stuff like that. And maybe some other suggestions that you have for the series as I keep going to this MHA Bleach crossover. That's all I gotta say. And this is Sage signing out for real. Peace, YEEHAW, bye-bye.